What's happening, Soul Fam? So, I teach alchemy to people all over the world on a continuous basis, right? Like every day. And one of the things that I've noticed about alchemy is that people normally really complicate it in their minds versus just understanding that it's really simple. If you can take a deep breath, you can do alchemy. It's really that easy. You just need to kind of like declutter your mind as to why you're complicating alchemy so much. Now, if you don't know what alchemy is basically using your consciousness and turning it into a superpower. We know that this reality is purely made out of mind, made out of thoughts. So the things that we believe end up manifesting into matter, and it gives us like a response, right? So one of the things that we really have to practice on a daily basis is simplifying what we consider to be consciousness and simplifying what we consider to be magic or alchemy, okay? This works with anything in your life. It doesn't really matter if you're trying to manifest wealth, if you're trying to become more psychic, if you're trying to find the lover of your dreams. This is all coming down to the complexities, how you make things more complicated than what they actually are. And if you're just realizing this right now, that's totally okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Like, it's just something that we all do naturally. That's what we're taught to do. We're taught to overcomplicate things, and by dividing it and by breaking it down, we can finally fully understand what it is that we're trying to tap into. And that's not always the case. One of the things that I really like to teach people when I'm teaching them alchemy is to ask themselves why it is that they're complicating the practice of alchemy. And that's what I want to do with you today. All I really want you to do is just take a deep breath and then relax. Now, breathwork. Breathwork is a great way to do alchemy, and I'm going to explain to you why. Breathwork is this ancient technique that we've been practicing for literally hundreds of years. Multiple different cultures around the world have talked about it, and I say hundreds of years, but really it's like thousands and thousands of years. There's been thousands of different cultures that have talked about breathwork in some way, shape, or form to elevate your consciousness, to change reality, and to even rewire your body. We have great examples today of people who are practicing breathwork and doing amazing things, like Wim Hof. If you don't know who he is this breathwork guru that can submerge himself into like really crazy sub-zero levels and still come out really great. Like, he doesn't have like this hypothermia reaction. He doesn't have any of these like negative effects when people go into extreme cold. And he's been so good at practicing breath work that he can actually take other people after a week of teaching them his breathwork technique up the mountains into the coldest areas, and then they just really train their bodies to stay warm, to stay functional, to not over panic, okay? So when we think about alchemy just being like these really simple things that we do in our life, breathwork, every day that you breathe, you are casting a spell. Every day that you decide to take a breath because you're stressed or take a breath because you're appreciating life, you are practicing alchemy. You're being magical. Now, there's a difference between just taking a breath and taking a breath with intention. Okay? And when you take a breath with intention, you're essentially saying that you're using the magic of breath to basically do something in your reality. When you breathe in wealth, you can technically start circulating that through your heart, through your blood, through your system, and that gives you the opportunity to be more in alignment with that concept of wealth. Now, it's not just about wealth. I mean, you can use this technique on literally anything, a new relationship, a new job, just bettering yourself and helping yourself become a new version of yourself, okay? So today, what we're going to be practicing is just simply taking a deep breath and recognizing that that breath is alchemy. Maybe that first breath that you took and didn't really have intention behind it. So for the following breaths that we're going to be practicing, that's all I want you to do. It's like, I want you to just put an intention behind that breath. And for the rest of the practices that we're going to be following in this series, I just really want you to always practice having intention with everything that you do. If you're going to go on a ride, go with the intention of whatever it is that you're going to be breathing in, right? Because you're constantly breathing. You cannot exist without breathing. You cannot exist without alchemy. So you breathe unconsciously all the time. When you're going on a car ride, when you're, talking to someone else, you're doing alchemy unconsciously in all those moments. So right now, I want you to focus on an intention. What do you want to breathe in right now? Do you want to breathe in positivity? Do you want to breathe in freedom? Do you want to breathe in, wealth? You can do that right now because it's that easy. Everything in the universe is energy. Your breath is energy. Feed that energy into your system, into your lungs, okay? So pick a subject matter right now. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to pick a subject matter. If you need to pause this video to find out something that you really want to be manifesting right now, that's okay. You can pause that video. Are you ready? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just pay attention first. Again, this is the third time we're going to just do a regular deep breath, okay? Feel that breath inside of your system. How is it affecting you? How is it driving you to move forward? What is it doing, okay? Now, that subject matter that you wanted to now breathe in intentionally, you're going to focus on that subject matter first. So let's say we're focusing on wealth. Put that in the forefront of your mind. Wealth, wealth, wealth. And now you're going to breathe in wealth. You're going to breathe in the energy of wealth into your lungs, into your system, okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, pay attention. What were the differences between the first breath where you didn't put any conscious effort into it? And what's the difference between the second breath where you actually said that you're going to be breathing in this certain kind of energy, okay? What's the difference? Did you feel it in your body? Did you feel it in your mind? Did you get a message even when you started doing it? Did you start thinking about something in specific? That is a cue for you to pay attention to where your energy is going when you breathe in this particular frequency. Again, you can be breathing in wealth, you can be breathing in love, you can be breathing in whatever subject matter you want. Just make it very simple. I don't want you to think about breathing in $1 million and 4 years of extreme wealth. No, just breathe in one energy, the energy of wealth. I don't want you to breathe in like anything saying like a happy family, 4 kids, none of that. Just breathe in love or breathe in relationship, okay? Keep it simple to one word. We're going to be doing an exercise now that's just going to be focusing on breathing in that energy, right? The energy that we're focusing on with that key word, and then letting go of that energy through our system, okay? So we're going to be letting go of the old and breathing in the new. Letting go of the old, breathing in the new. Don't overcomplicate it and don't disbelieve yourself. Sometimes people are like, oh, I really hope this is gonna work. Oh my, I wonder if this is gonna work. Don't do that. Just know that you are really that powerful. You have the ability to change reality with just a thought. And the problem is that we've been taught that you need to do all these different actions to be able to change your circumstances, right? You do need to take action with the law of attraction, but you first have to start embodying the law of attraction, okay? And you have to start like focusing on what is it you actually want, okay? So for the next few minutes, let's do this together, okay? Breathing in your intention, holding it in for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling all of the old that no longer serves you, the things that are holding you back. Breathing in your intention again. This time we're going to hold it a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. We're going to breathe in your intention a third time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Breathe in again. And every time you breathe, you want to do a little bit bigger than the previous breath that you did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Exhale. all the old. Now we're just going to stop and we're going to take a mental registry, okay? How are you feeling right now after just holding those breaths for just a few seconds, right? You might be feeling a little bit more lucid. You might be feeling a little bit more awake. You might be feeling a little bit more aware, right? Or conscious, right? Because what you're doing is you're breathing in a certain kind of consciousness, a certain kind of energy into your body, and you're feeding that into your body. There's gurus all around the world that have learned how to replace food with the sunlight, or with particular breathing exercises, or their imagination. There are literally shamans who practice imaginary food techniques. They'll imagine a fat, juicy burger, and they're eating it, and their body will recognize that they're actually taking in some sort of substance, even though they're not really eating anything. And it's because they're eating the energy of their imagination, the energy of life that revolves around us. They have to have the consciousness or the awareness that they can do that. And that's what we're doing now. What we're doing essentially is eating or filling ourselves up with a specific kind of energy that we want to be carrying and grounding into the body. A lot of times alchemy is seen as like all these different spells that you can practice and all these different, rituals that you can do and all these different kind of like techniques that are available to you. But one of the main common things that a lot of people end up missing is that it has to be embodied. Your body literally is a computer, all right? 1 gram of DNA is worth 3 terabytes of a hard drive. That's a lot of information, okay? So if you have more than just 1 gram of DNA in your system, you can imagine how much information you're actually carrying. And you have to flush that information out little by little. The way you do that is by embodying a new lifestyle. When we teach Antojai, we practice diving deeper into a new reality. We start living beyond the threshold of what other people are, living, the limitations that they're carrying in their minds, in their body, in their computer, in their DNA, right? So you need to start practicing this every day, okay? Intention with breath is what really does keep driving you, because breath is life, right? We cannot live without breath. So if you can't live without breath, you might as well start using that breath efficiently. And you might as well start using it to your advantage. You breathe in whatever intention you want to be. And you're constantly doing that. And you're not going to always be remembering that with everything that you're doing, okay? There's times throughout the day where you get caught up in whatever projects you're doing and you totally lose track of what's going on and you forget about your breath. You go back to regular breathing, right? Breathing the matrix, if that's what you want to think about it. But when you catch yourself and you're like, whoa, I'm breathing in matrix energy. Wait, let me breathe the energy of my own reality, of my new reality, the millionaire me, the me that's got that bomb-ass car, the me that's got the happiest life ever, or the lover. When you start doing that and you start catching yourself, you'll eventually start doing it on autopilot, okay? Because everything's just a little bit of a habit curve. You just have to learn how to get into the flow of the habit, and then the flow will just carry you through, okay? So you have to kind of maybe even put down a little notification when you wake up in the morning or in the middle of the day. What I like to do is put a couple notifications and alarm clocks for new habits that I'm creating. That way I'm constantly reminding myself until it just becomes a second nature. I'm not thinking about it anymore. It's just naturally happening and I'm seeing results as a byproduct. So we're going to do this technique one more time. You want to do this in the morning, in the middle of the day, as many times as possible, and it's not that hard. Sometimes people are like, oh my god, alchemy has to do like 7 hours of burning candles and sage, but really alchemy is just like life. Okay, Antojai means the cravings of life. Therefore, you have to be living the alchemy that you want to be experiencing. It's not just, coming down and writing down the law of attraction and in your notebook, like, I am so powerful, I'm so beautiful. Are you breathing in beauty? Are you breathing in power? Because if you are, you're bringing that energy into your lungs. When you bring that energy into your lungs, you are then bringing that energy into the circulatory process of the blood. Therefore, the blood starts oxygenating itself with the energy that you're bringing in. That energy will go through the heart. The heart is connected to the heart chakra. That is tied to the magnetization of the energy that you're bringing in, because our heart chakra magnetizes things very powerfully. And then the heart distributes that energy across the rest of the body, across the rest of the DNA. And then you become coherent with the thing that you want to be experiencing, okay? It's not always about trying to drag it into your reality. Like, oh my God, I want the car. Let me drag it through all these manifestation properties. Sometimes it's like, oh, I want that car. That car is already here. I just love driving this car. I can smell that new car smell. And you start just applying these concepts on a regular basis, and you'll see shortly, and just the quickest amount of time possible, because you're not considering time anymore. You're just breathing it. You're in flow with life. You're in flow with the energy of the car. The car will show up faster. The car will show up like in miraculous ways, and it'll be more fulfilling because you've always had that car. You've always been breathing the air of that car. Because right now, between you and the car, there's only one thing: the complication that you're creating between you attaining the car in the now moment and like where you're currently at in your reality, right? So if you start thinking the breath that I'm breathing in for that car, right? It's the same kind of technique when you're actually sitting in the car, because you're still breathing when you're driving that car, right? Right now you're breathing, you might not have it, but then when you finally get it, you still have to breathe to be able to operate the car. So this is how we start bridging in quantum realities, simply through our breath. That's it. We start jumping timelines, jumping quantum parallel universes, and bringing that energy in simply through our breath. Now, this technique works with any type of breath work that you want to do. If you want to do holotropic breath work, that's a very powerful technique that is even more powerful than just randomly just breathing in breath, right? Breathing is so powerful because it's so accessible. Like, we automatically have to do it anyway, right? Why not do it with the proper consciousness, with alchemy, with power, with intention? When we focus our breath with our goals, we will attain it. No like cap, no BS about it. This is the technique that I want you to practice every day. Bring that energy into your life every day. This should be the first thing you do in the morning. When you get up in the morning, you don't have to get out of bed, you don't have to stretch. Even if you're stretching, because a lot of times people are stretching and you should be like, oh my God, I just woke up. I'm gonna breathe in all the wealth. And then you program your day to continue to breathe that energy every day, all day, everywhere. And then you're gonna notice that all you can do is exist in a reality that is constantly filling you up with your intention. I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share. Love you.